How do we score more than 90% marks and close to 100% in final exam? That is what you learn when you watch my videos. Since I take up questions which are based on past test papers, here is one for you. I am Anil Kumar. Welcome to the test series on trigonometry. Here is an application question, Ferris wheel. It's a very common question seen in almost every test. A Ferris wheel having an area of 484 pi meter square rotates 3 times in every 5 minutes. The passengers get at a point 2 meters above the ground level. Sketch 2 complete rotations of the wheel. Write an expression to express the height h meters of a passenger above the ground at any time t seconds. Find the height of a passenger after 90 seconds. You can always pause the video, answer the question, and then look into my suggestions. In case you want to learn from me, you can always send an email on the address given or check our website and fill the form. Now let's begin with the solution of this particular question. So let's try to sketch 2 complete rotations of the wheel. We are given that the Ferris wheel having an area. So we are given the area of the Ferris wheel. So let's write down 484 pi meter square. Now Ferris being big circular, area is pi r square. So from here we get the value of r. So it is 484 pi. So you can simplify this. So r will be equal to square root of 484. Correct? So that becomes the value. So the square root of 484 is 22, right? So we get the radius of this particular Ferris wheel, and that should help us to sketch the diagram. So that means, okay, let's do it here. Time given to us is greater than 0 or equal to 0, right? So since everybody is boarding 2 meters above the ground, so that is the lowest point, 2 meters, right? So there has to be some highest point which will be plus diameter, right? So the lowest point here is 2 meters, and since the radius is 22, the axis will be 22 over 2, right? So midpoint here will be what? 2 plus 22, right? So that means this is 24, right? And then the maximum will be what? 2 plus 22 plus 24. That means the diameter we have to add, right? So that gives you the maximum of 46. Correct? So let's sketch cycle starting from the bottom. So you go like up and then you come down. Up and then you come down. So that becomes 2 cycles, right? Starting from the bottom, coming back to that starting point, and then again going for the second cycle. So we have got 2 cycles here. Now one critical thing which is to be calculated is what is this time period. To calculate the time period, we can take help of the condition given to us that it rotates 3 times every 5 minutes, right? So rotation, one cycle will take how much? So 3 cycles in 5 minutes, right? which 5 minutes really means 5 into 60 seconds, right? Let's convert that to seconds. So one cycle will be in how much? 5 into 60 seconds divided by 3. Make sense? So that gives you, when you divide, this goes 20 times, so it is 100 seconds. So the cycle takes 100 seconds. So this point here is 100. So that will be 200. Time in seconds. Is that clear? And height in meters. So that is how we can actually sketch the two cycles, right? So that part has been done. Let's move on to the second part. I hope it is absolutely clear. So the idea is, from the given area, find the radius, and then looking into the question, sketch. Second is, write an expression to express the height in meters of the passengers above the ground at any time t seconds after. So as we had seen, let me just re-sketch. So I'll just sketch one part of it, right? Two plus 22 gives me 24, right? That is how we got all the results. So now we need to write an expression of this particular function. We can use cosine law starting with the minimum, right? So I could write straight away that height is equal to, with respect to time, as the amplitude. Now amplitude is radius of the wheel, correct? Which is same here, right? This or this, correct? And since we are starting from the minimum value, that is our starting point, it is like minus cos. So I'll write this as minus, and amplitude being 22, correct? So we have this is the amplitude A. Cos of time period is 100, right? So if time period t is 100, what is the value of k? K will be 2 pi by 100, which is pi by 50, correct? So we get expression for k value, pi by 50. Since we have already considered phase shift as starting from negative, so there is no phase shift with this formula now, right? And the variable is time t, and starts 2 units above the ground. It starts 2 units above the ground. So the axis is at 24. You see this value, h, this is the axis. Let me write down axis, correct? So the center value, the average value, is 2 plus 22, the radius, correct? So that gives you the axis of this particular model for the Ferris wheel. Is that clear to you? Perfect. Now let's take up the third question, which was, let's see what was third question. Part C was, find the height of the passengers after 90 seconds. Now we have to now find the height after 90 seconds, right? So let's put 90 seconds in this particular expression and find the value. So the height after 90 seconds, I'm putting 90 here. So part C is height after 90 seconds. It will be minus 22 cos of pi by 50 times 90 plus 24, correct? So I'd like you to use your calculator, calculate this answer. It should be set in radians, right? That is important since we have taken radians as our unit here. Some of you could also do it in degrees also, right? No harm. So in radians, cos of pi times 90 divided by 50 plus 24 gives us a value which is 6.2 meters. 201 I get, so I'm rounding to 6.2 meters. Is that clear to you? So that is how we are going to answer this particular question. Clear? So I hope the concept is absolutely clear. Feel free to write a comment, share your views. If you have any doubts, don't hesitate. And in case you want to learn from me, send me a call on this email. Most of my students are doing extremely well, getting highest marks in their class and some awards and scholarships. Thanks for your valuable time and all the best.